Alright, we're going to start without them. Alright, you're live. We're building an audience for you. Good, right. Alright, so, always, it takes about 5-6 minutes. I need everybody on Google Hangout to mute your microphones, alright? Alright, see how Dia signing in. So, let me get started since I'm seeing some people are coming in. In the divine name of the Supreme Being, I want to greet everyone with a civilized greeting in a very uncivilized time. Of course, if you're awake and aware, you can attest to the fact that it's a very uncivilized time. But there's different greetings that we go by depending upon your school of thought. Some say peace, shalom, hotep, assalamu alaikum, free the land, alafia, what's happening, what's good, what's popping, what it do. I don't know what they say in Kansas City, but in the ATL they say, man, shout out good. But anyway, I want to greet you whatever greeting you go by. Just from the outstart, I want to thank everybody for taking this time out for just joining me tonight, so we can kind of deal with this particular subject. How white folks got so rich. It's a very interesting little book. I believe it's only about $8, so you can find it, Google it. It's there. It's not a difficult read at all. It reminds me of the Willie Lynch letter and some of the other books that are very thin, and it's very ingenious how they put the small books together like this, that you can keep in your back pocket and you can kind of read it while you're on the bus or whatever you're doing. But anyway, let me just say from the outstart, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Some of y'all Negroes are crazy as hell. For real. I mean, sick. Beyond, and I'm going to deal with this at the Feast of Sekhmet this weekend. Some of y'all are sick beyond measure. Some of y'all are sick beyond any prescription that any of the ancestors have ever written. Some of y'all are so goddamn sick. It's almost like trying to craft a way to be patient with our people, firm, loving, compassionate, and all of these things all at the same damn time. Shout out to Black Dot, who just signed in with us. All at the same time, and it's very, very difficult. So if y'all give me a couple of minutes, not a couple of minutes, probably about a minute and a half or so, I had to gather some protection. Soleil, Tanya Johnson put some protection together for me. And I keep it with me. But tonight, I had to take it out. Because some of our people are so sick, man. And it's like if you don't protect yourself on a spiritual level, it's almost like these people will take your kindness for weakness. And I tell everybody, I'm a lion, and you can't pet a lion like that any old given time, any old given day. I'm not built that way. All right? Man, it's going to get hot in here. For real. So, that's just one form of protection. My other forms of protection, I got crystals, whichever one you want to choose, black tourmaline, amethyst, whatever. And if the damn amethyst will not work, I got a few more crystals. I'm taking out everything, and I'm using this stuff, and I'm taking out everything that I need. I got this from my elders. We can't go into what this is, but it's protection all the way from the continent. My protection here. And I'm putting these things in place, and hopefully it'll balance me out and give me enough, along with meditation and prayer, give me enough to kind of deal with our people without having to use my other protection. Some of y'all just need a goddamn axe. For real. Our people are something else, man. If these don't work, especially if the amethysts don't work, the amethyst crystals don't work, I'm going to have to go do the amethyst remix. Let me get the amethyst remix so we could do some. Shout out to Soleil Tanya Johnson just joining in. My man Jabril. If this one don't work, I'm gonna have to do the remix and use this one. Y'all are killing me, man. Our people are sick. All right? I'm just saying to you, if you push, I'm going to be forced to push back, and you're not going to like that. There's too much going on in the conscious community, especially right now at this time, that all of us need to at least show and demonstrate a level of peace and compassion for one another. All right, so I'm going to put this down. Last but not least, I need to put this on a chain and kind of wear this around my neck, this black tourmaline. But I'm going to light this Palo Santo stick because we're going to clear the energy. We're going to clear the virtual energy, all right, in the virtual world out there where you guys are at. And we're going to make it really peaceful, all right? All right, so let's just send our positive energy out so we can connect with our brothers and sisters so we can make this really, really, really peaceful. But tonight I want to talk about how white folks got so rich, all right? I got to move real quick because there's a lot I want to deal with. Thanks to everyone that's there in Google Hangout. I really appreciate y'all for taking your time, for being with us, and Facebook Live. Shout out to Cypress joining us. DJ Earth One, I see you out there. All right, but let me dive into this. All right, just real quick from the rip. All right. Now, let me do a disclaimer. If you have white relatives or white friends that you just don't feel that this may be appropriate for them to watch, then it's nothing for you to click off. And if you get too embarrassed for them, or you just don't want them to hear what I have to say, or you kind of figure they might not like me, well, too goddamn bad. Plain and simple. Shout out to Khadijah. All right. But they might want to listen because for some strange reason, we have this mystical, magical kind of way we think about white people. And most of us, not most of us, some of us, the majority of us, think that because white people are so rich and some white people are wealthy, that they think white people, that's not the case. All right? We have to be able to be smart enough to look through the veil or pull the veil back, or as they say, metaphorically speaking, pull the skirt off these demons. All right? I wrote that in the introduction of my book, Symbology. So let's understand this. Shout out to Sonny, Sirius Mindz joining us. All right? So we're dealing with how white folks got so rich. All right? Let's talk about this. All right? Working hard or hardly working. When I opened the book and began to read this, when I first got the book, I said to myself, it's funny to me, and I even wrote it down. I said, it's funny to me how now that slavery, physical slavery, has ended, so to speak, all of a sudden now we're lazy. Shit, we wasn't lazy a minute ago when you was working our ass from sun up to sundown. We weren't lazy then. But as soon as we're not working for free anymore, all of a sudden we're lazy. Okay, shout out to Joshua Jackson and Hadia on Google Hangout. So all of a sudden we're lazy now. So working hard or hardly working. If you, our good brother Dr. Neely Fuller says, if you do not understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think you understand will only confuse you. We have to be able to take that, put it in the back of our minds, and every time we need to deal with our people and these other people that don't see color, and you black people should be ashamed of your goddamn self, siding with these other people and singing in this same chorus that we don't see color. Well, why not? Why can't we see color? If you're looking at a bed of roses, I'm admiring all of the flowers and the roses and the different flowers that are growing in the garden. One not any more, that's a double negative, special than the other. But I admire their beauty for what they are. And we need to understand that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with actually seeing color, staying stuck in that vibration may be a problem. If you always see color and you deal from that point of reference, it may be a problem. All right? Shout out to my son, Rashim. He called himself Ramega. Peace. I'm just glad to see him on. The foundation of American white supremacy sits tenuously on a rickety basis of myths and lies and deceptions. A century and a half after the end of legal slavery, white families average, listen, $113,000 in wealth. But for black families, just $5,600. More than a quarter of black families have no assets at all. $113,000 for white families, $5,600 for black families. More than a quarter of black families have no assets. What does that mean in real terms, in real life? That means that if you're my age, 56, and hypothetically speaking, let's just say I get married next year, and me and my mate, we have children, and we want to leave something for the children, and the only thing we have to leave is a couple of cars, some debt, as Rick Mathis talked about in his book, in his documentary film, Black Friday. If all we're leaving is debt, then that generation coming behind us and several generations behind them always having to start over, as opposed to white people leaving assets and leaving trust funds and this kind of thing, land, property, deeds, and this kind of thing. Not only that, a wealth of knowledge on how to manage these particular things is also very key. Shout out to my nephew, Swally Lee, that's joining us, all right? So we have to understand the wealth gap between whites and blacks has quadrupled since 1984 and is now wider than it's ever been. Even high-income blacks have assets. Blacks have assets of only $18,000, while middle-class income whites have 74,000. So middle-class whites have 74,000 and higher in assets, and middle-class black families have $18,000 and lower. Is what we're leaving our children, if we're leaving anything for them at all. All right? Most times when we get money, we see what we can spend as much as we can at one time, and then we tend to buy what we want and beg for what we need. And that's a real dynamic. It happened in my family. It happens in your family. And we can't deny that. What we're doing is we're coming together tonight so we can understand this particular dynamic, so we can piece apart the book and certain things in the book to extract the knowledge from this book to make it applicable in our lives. All right? So we don't have to constantly regurgitate and repeat the same old nonsense over and over and over again. Since the official start of the recession in 2007, the number of multi-millionaires worldwide has exploded. There are now 170,000 people worth $30 million or more, up to 60%, pardon me. 37,000 people worth $100 million or more. That's up 62%. And 1,700 billionaires. That is up 82%. Since 2008, the U.S. alone has spawned over 1 million new millionaires. 1 million new millionaires. And we don't own a goddamn shoestring factory? Not a factory that make goddamn balloons? As ashy as some of us are, we don't make our own damn shea butter and lotion and toothpaste, and funky as we are, we don't make deodorant? Come on. I'm not coming down on us. I'm just saying we have to start looking out and doing for one another if we're going to survive this thing. Let's not get off into that. Let's get back into this. Blacks have been in America longer than any other people, save the American Indian. Yet, of the 10 richest American blacks, there are only 1 billionaire. One billionaire. and that is Oprah Winfrey. And she is ranked 607th person on the Forbes list of wealthiest Americans. 607th. So it's 606 billionaires. She's 607. And all of us that have all of this money, one black billionaire, which is Oprah. All right. All 10 in the entertainment field. Pardon me. It says wealthiest Americans. All 10 are in the entertainment field, and they total the wealth of 7.6 billion. Amounts less than 1/10 that of the richest white man, which has a total net worth of 78.9 billion with a B. Billion. Billion with a B. All right. Now, that's Bill Gates. Listen. 10 wealthiest blacks Americans versus Bill Gates. Let me turn this way. Bill Cosby. Oprah. Michael Jordan. Sean Combs. Puffy. P. Diddy. Whatever you call himself this week. Robert Johnson. Dr. Dre. Tiger Woods. Magic Johnson. Jay-Z. Bill Cosby. And Sheila Johnson. All right. Sheila's coming in at 400 million. Bill Cosby at 450 million. Jay-Z at 450 million. Magic Johnson, 500 million. Tiger Woods at 500 million. Dr. Dre, 550 million. Robert Johnson, 550 million. Sean Combs, 550 million. Michael Jordan, 880 million. Oprah at 3 billion. And on top of that list is your man, Bill Gates, at 78.9 billion dollars. Oh, you asking me what book am I reading from? How white folks got so rich. All right, let's move on. All right, I wrote some notes down here so I don't get lost. On page 83, it's asking me to go to 83. Oh, I want to read this quote, Andrew Hacker. We have a black middle class, but it only exists in the sufferance of white America. We decided how many of you, meaning you, black people, all right, will be allowed into which positions, and how many of you is too many. And we pick Cosby, we pick Colin Powell, and we do that, it says. And we are very careful about the numbers. So they handpick Negroes who they want to parade in front of you to let you see how many of you Negroes are actually rich versus wealthy. No, you Negroes are rich. You're not wealthy. Wealth and being rich is two different things. All right. And if we get time, we'll talk about that. All right. So now it says, did Dr. Dre sell Beats to Apple for 3.6 billion? Yeah, but Kareem, that wasn't all his damn money. All right. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. All right. So now education. With all the Negroes graduating from colleges and universities. All right. Listen to what they said. It says, having been president. Now we're talking about public education, the 4 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic, and all of them words don't even begin with the letter R. Anyway, reading, writing, arithmetic, and racism. All right. Having been president of Princeton University, Woodrow Wilson is considered. I want to thank Ava Muhammad for doing an excellent job in laying this out. All right. Ava Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for laying this particular thing out, and the brothers that put this particular small little book together. Having been president of Princeton University, Woodrow Wilson is considered the most intelligent of the United States presidents. Okay. I have an issue with that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But his public education policy was categorically wicked. He declared, listen, we want a class of persons to have a liberal education. And we want another class of persons, a very much larger class of necessity in every society, to forego the privilege of a liberal education and fit themselves to perform specific, difficult, manual labor. That would be you, with or without your degree. Yes, with or without your degree. This is Woodrow Wilson. Now, I'm skipping now from page 43, dealing with education. I want to skip and go and regress and go back to page 7, I believe. Hold on. Nope. Yes, page 7. And it talked about the truth is the truth is a whole lot easier. Pardon me. The truth is a whole lot nastier than ever imagined in reference to the monies and the wealth that white families have stacked up by putting black people into slavery. So I know some of y'all are pausing right now and you're saying, some of y'all are saying, okay, he's about to get on on slavery, and we're about to have a conversation about how bad whites are, and we're going to talk about slavery. No, you should be able to study the history of slavery and come up with your own conclusions. All right. Shout out to Claude Anderson. Shout out to all those brothers and sisters that tried to bring black people back up to where we need to be in reference to understanding riches versus wealth in America, and how we need to look forward and make moves that's going to affect 7 generations behind us. All right. All right. All right. So let's dive back into this. All right. 3. What page 124? It talked about Henrietta Lacks. Now, we have to understand something. When we talk about patents, when we talk about the whole idea of owning something, it talks about white collar crime and American profession. It says white collar crime is the most lucrative and least risky form of crime, and it is a field where blacks are entirely unknown. White collar crime, you don't commit. Not that you're not smart enough. That's a white people thing. All right? And we need to understand that particular dynamic. Dawood Muhammad, I am well aware of the Bitcoin and all the other forms of currency. I know the dollar. I know where the dollar is. And we've had that conversation on here before. And we will talk about that if we get time. But I wanted to go into the whole idea of organized crime and legal drugs. And then we want to talk about patents. We want to talk about everything that black people invented. We're talking about patents and the black ingenuity snatches. I'm talking about the culture bandits. Those that sit and watch us and how genius we are and how we come up with these inventions. And then, but because we don't have the money to set these things in motion, they come and steal our ingenuity and take our patents, because it only lasts for a certain amount of years. Like copyrights, we need to be educated about that. So, patents and the black ingenuity snatches. The list of black inventors is a long and impressive one, but the list of those blacks who profited from their own inventions is too short to qualify as a list. Damn, you invent it, but we don't benefit from the things that we invent. That's really critical. So some of the things that we've actually created: the rotary engine, the lawnmower, the horseshoe, the elevator, refrigerator, cash registry, gas burner, printing press, pencil sharpener. Now you may think this is an elementary kind of conversation we're having right now, but I tell you what, you can always tell where the parents are by asking the children these questions. Sit me in front of your children and let me ask them a few questions about what they should know at the age that they are. You're right, Kim. They're culture vultures, culture bandits, as Del Jones teaches us. Black Dot wrote it in his book, Hip Hop Decoded and Urban Decoded. We know exactly who these people are. Let me finish the list. Pencil sharpener, fire extinguisher, the fountain pen, gas mask, traffic light, electric light. I can even go so far as to say, I'm sure a black man somewhere invented the goddamn condom. Somewhere, a brother, sure, somewhere. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm just saying, All right. Page 127, the Fed. I'm just going about my little. We're going to talk about Henrietta Lacks in a minute, because if you don't know the story of Henrietta Lacks, you should. All right. We were talking about medical apartheid with Harriet Washington. We talk about going into that particular science and going into the DNA of the black woman. I'm talking about not presently. I'm talking about ever since there's been a black woman. They've been going into the black woman, extracting what they need, whether it's DNA, whether it's cells, whether it's genetic material, whatever it is that they needed. They've always used and went into the black woman. All right? Whether they try to sneak into heaven through the black woman, and sisters, come on, man. I mean, if you got Bob on the hanger, or Timmy or Tommy or one of them kind of cats, let's think twice about this. I put up a post on my Facebook page that just caught fire, and people just got ridiculous with it. And I've talked about this before. I put up a YouTube clip entitled Sisters, Where You At? Not sisters, where you at in the whole scheme of things. Sisters, where you at? That when we as entertainers, sports players, movie stars, and all these other people, engineers and scientists, when we reach the pinnacle of success and we do have in sight the wealth and riches, why is it that when we get to that particular point, we always choose somebody that don't look like our mama to be our wives? That's a very critical conversation that we need to have as a family. All right? Some of the comments that I've received on YouTube and on Facebook is embarrassing. Is embarrassing. Embarrassing. We're not going to talk about that right now. Y'all know, I don't want to call the roll. Y'all know who they are. Some people that are worth millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. All right? But when they go and reach that pinnacle of success, they never come back for you, sister. And I just asked the question, sisters, where you at in this grand scheme of things? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Anyway, somebody sent me a message talking about, well, what about you? First of all, I got billions of dollars. I'm going to have it in a minute, but I'm saying to you, how about me choosing a woman that look like my mama? And see, at this point now, y'all looking at me like, okay, we gonna see. I'm gonna put a picture of Soleil next to my mama. How's that? Will that satisfy your bloodlust? You thirsty ass goddamn savages. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not gonna get above and beyond my emotions here. It's not an emotional conversation. As a matter of fact, it's a very factual one. All right? Let's talk about this in a minute. All right, so if we're talking about how white folks got so rich, all right, we could look at present, roll our minds back. Let's look at present. If white people are taking the natural resources of all the indigenous people on the globe in the name of war on terrorism, this is how they're able to go into places. DJ Earth One said, we hate our own black self. No, we're laughing out loud. No, you're right. You're right, Earth One, for real. It's self-hatred, and it's a lot to do with self-hatred. So if we look at present, though, and how I asked the question last week, I believe, what happened to the $1 trillion of gold that was under the World Trade Center? What happened to the gold that they stole from Muammar Gaddafi? What happened to the billions of dollars that they found in that hole that they found Saddam Hussein in? We need to ask these questions. And it's a very real question that we need to ask. All right. Now, on page 83, it talks about corporate welfare. Now, let's get that fact straight. There are more white women on welfare than black women are on welfare. I'm going to pause for a second because I want you to marinate on that. Because some of y'all like to throw black women under the bus. You understand what I'm saying? I remember this term welfare cheat and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, Sally Rotten Crotch and Becky Asserflat and the rest of them are getting welfare. So let's just be real about this. Seriously. And you're right, Simeon Selassie, they come up with these terms, war on terrorism and fascism and imperialism and these cute little terms they like to kind of throw out there, and they want to make the world safe for democracy. Right. They ain't believed in democracy in a long goddamn time. Trust me, they haven't. Anyway, corporate welfare. Suit and tie beggars at the banquet. All right? The phrase corporate welfare describes government tax breaks and subsidies awarded by the federal government to American businesses for which the public receives no goods or services. Moderate estimates say that these free giveaway programs for wealthy white business cost all Americans from $100 to $150 billion a year. $100 to $150 billion a year, corporate welfare. Yes, white men in 2- and 3-piece suits, all right, wearing Fruit of the Looms, tighty whities, and alligator belts, and with carrying alligator This is a very, very real dynamic that we need to look at. How white folks got so rich. On page 83, it talks about corporate welfare, suit and tie, beggars at the banquet. All right. Some of the companies are, it says corporations with their hands full of gimme and their mouths full of much obliged includes Boeing, Xerox, IBM, Motorola, General Motors, the Dow Company, General Electric, and it says welfare in the form of bailouts for greedy and incompetent banks and financial institutions recently went to, listen, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. Indeed, the fastest falling Bank of America under the guidance of the CEO, Brian Moynihan, is a genuine welfare freeloader. Its 2009 pre-tax income was $4.4 billion. Its taxes, zero. Zilch, nothing. The number of foreign tax havens it used in 2009 to conceal its income its income. So they have these tax havens, and they take their money and they hide them in offshore accounts and this kind of thing. And since your friend, who never came to speak to you, but bailed these corporate crooks out, Barack Obama. Go Google right now and look at the list of in the 8 years who Barack Obama has bailed out. All right, trust me. When you look at who these people are tied to, and you name the names and you start connecting the dots, you'll find out most of these people are tied into Freemasons, the Illuminati, and some of the other people. All right, tied into the Rothschilds, tied into the 13 families of the Illuminati. I'm not getting off on the Illuminati kick. The boogeyman is hiding in the closet under the bed. But I'm just telling you, I'm keeping it real. As they say in New York, I'm keeping it a buck. And this is real. The next chapter on 84, page 84, talks about warmongers and welfare. The grotesque annual giveaway of American tax money to private corporations includes the contracts awarded to thousands of white businesses for the dubious weapons programs that fuel the unjustifiable military campaigns America has waged around the world. Former President Jimmy Carter recently concluded the war on terrorism. Billions and billions and billions of dollars that they spent to keep this war machine going, all in the name of keeping Americans safe. I'm talking about invading countries, taking their natural resources. All right. Tara Muhammad says economic hitmen. You're absolutely right. But Tara Muhammad, listen, they send the economic hitmen in way before the military comes in. They'll send their advisors in to negotiate and talk and remind those particular leaders that they installed and put in place in some of these places where they want the natural resources. And then if the particular leader don't cooperate, they'll send in the economic hitmen. And if the economic hitmen fail, that's when they send in the hitmen. That's when the press comes in and start lying about the leader. Look at Muammar Gaddafi's story. Perfect example. I think I've read that last week. But you can read Muammar Gaddafi's story in this book right here. Defending Farrakhan, book 2. In the back, it talks about Muammar Gaddafi. All right? It's a very, 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 very critical book. All right? And the stats are there. All right? The facts are there. The actual facts are there. We can't deny that. All right? Sandra Talford says, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. We need to get his name in case some people are watching this that don't have access to these particular books. All right? So let's dive back into this. Jimmy Carter says, the rest of the world almost unanimously looks at America as the #1 warmonger. Yeah. Someone, Deanna Dawn Peace, says for signing in. If we look at America's, what they used to say intervention, but America waging war, and you put a list up. I put the list in my book, Symbology. All right? It'll be out in a week or so. But if you look at a list of all of the places that America has went in and destabilized these particular governments and took the natural resources from the indigenous people in those particular parts of the world, it has actually made America rich and wealthy beyond belief. Staggering numbers. Too much for us to kind of go into. All right? Page 16 I wanted to get back to. All right? Oh, somebody sent me a message that said, finish reading what Jimmy Carter said. Thank you. It says, Jimmy Carter says that we revert to armed conflict almost at the drop of a hat. All right? And quite often is not only desired by the leaders of our country, but is also supported by the people of America. Because this is me now, because the people in America, not you, we have some dumbass Americans in America that want to wave the American flag. Erica Foxy Mama Parker said the new Confessions of the Economic Hitman is by John Perkins. Thank you very much. All right. But you flag-waving hypocrites want to rah for America, but because America's war machine, DJ Earth One, thank you very much. America's media machine done whipped up a frenzy about a particular leader. You so ready to go to war and drop bombs on people because you have a bloodlust and you bloodthirsty savages. All right, you love killing than you love life. This is why you have innocent white people getting murdered, all right, that want to save the whales or save the plants or save the air, and they go on these missions to save everything because your fathers' have murdered everything. Listen, and this is real. White people are against everything in nature. They have to conquer and destroy and control everything and put everything under their domination. This is what you read when you read the book of Genesis. Because they was given dominion. All right? They talk about some other people. We gave them dominion. And they're ruling like the devils that they are. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Anyway. Somebody sent me a message that says white people don't steal as much as black people. You a goddamn lie. White people stole your ass. Out of here with that BS. Anyway. Matter of fact, let me just click a couple of people off. You're about to work my last goddamn nerve with that. White people done stole you. And you gonna come on here and tell me black people steal more than white people. Got white people stealing air and shit. What the hell, man? Stop that. Stupid. Page 16. Skimming through the book to give you an overview on what the book is actually about. All right? Page 16. These are the things, some of the things I just wanted to highlight. It says, U.S. presidents. Let me get some water and bring my energy level down. Let me just turn the volume down. Yes, sis, do me a favor. Send me some of that energy real quick. I'm going to light this Palo Santo stick. All right, here we go. U.S. presidents and the black Africans they enslaved. We're not going to get into the black Africans that they raped. DJ Earth wants to light the Palo Santo stick. We're talking about U.S. presidents and the black Africans that they enslaved. All right, let me show it to you in case you think I'm making it up. All right. George Washington owned 350 slaves. We probably know these numbers are higher. So what you need to do in your deep-rooted mathematical mind and college degree that you got with some of them letters and numbers behind your name, why don't you do, thank you, Soleil, why don't some of y'all get a calculator out and the numbers I give you times by 50, that's how many slaves they probably owned. George Washington, 350. Andrew Jackson, 200 slaves. Thomas Jefferson, 200 slaves. James Polk, 25. Okay. Yeah. John Tyler, 75 slaves. James Madison, 106 slaves. Ulysses S. Grant, 5 slaves. Damn. James Monroe, 75 slaves. Andrew Johnson, 8 slaves. William Harrison, 11 slaves. And Martin Van Buren owned 1 slave. What the fuck? No, it's there. Trust me, y'all. It is there. This dude here owned 1 slave. What the fuck was his name? Can somebody Google that for me, please? Martin Van Buren owned 1 slave. Can you tell me what his name was? Damn, that was quick. Somebody said Flavor Flav. Stop that, man. You're bullshitting me. His name wasn't Flavor Flav. Y'all killing me. Anyway, let me talk about this for a second. Let's finish going over this. Hold on. 24. Y'all are killing me. No, his slave wasn't Flavor Flav, y'all. All right. University patents and business. All right. Page 124. All right. The process of using research and development money provided by American taxpayers for private business startups has benefited whites almost exclusively. If I'm sitting on $1 billion business idea, and I'm sure some of y'all have some, what they do is the process of using research development money provided by the American taxpayer for private business startups. Can y'all name me some of those corporations that have used private, public money for private business startups? This is critical. See, this is exclusively for white people. You don't have access to this. All right? You truly do not have access to this. So let me finish this. The federal government spends over $50 billion in basic university research in science, technology, medicine, energy, manufacturing, robots, computers, weaponry, and a vast number of other fields. All right? Once new breakthroughs and innovations are made, the college and the professor patent the idea or invention and use the government-financed patent as the basis for their private business venture. Coming up with these ideas, all right, using taxpayers' money, but it's private. Wickedly, Elijah Muhammad was right. Minister Louis Farrakhan was right. They're wickedly wise. Wickedly wise. It says this is money that is entirely inaccessible to those outside the almost entirely white university system, as the U.S. taxpayer who's financed the research receives no share in the profit generated by that private business enterprise. I.e., Silicon Valley is filled with such enterprises, and many of America's biotech, we talked about that last week, America's biotech businesses were incubated at the universities with government grant resources. Government grant resources. They use your money for this. Van Buren's slave he owned 6 slaves. Thank you, Erica. Really appreciate that. All right. In some cases, like that of Henrietta Lacks, blacks are used in university experiments for the benefit of white corporations. Lacks died of cancer in 1951, but her family later found out that her very unique cells were being used to develop pharmaceutical drugs. Damn. They done kept this woman's body, took her to the university in the science lab, opened up her body, went inside of it, and used her cells for pharmaceutical drugs. Then turned around and set up Planned Parenthoods all throughout black America in your hood. You talking about no one in their life better not ever run up on my ass talking about the white man is not the devil. Okay, let's not go there, but let's just say this. If he ain't the devil, he'll do until the real one get here. Thank you. Okay, yeah, we might give one or two of them a pass. All right, someone says, someone says, her family received no compensation to date. Check out Johns Hopkins Hospital. Okay. And the reason why I say we're going to give some of them a pass simply because some of y'all might come at me and say you can't indict the entire race for what a few of them done. I'm not going to be the one to take my hand and put it in a barrel full of snakes just to find one of the good ones. If they're that damn good, let them come on out of the goddamn barrel and show and prove themselves. All right? Look up James Marion Sims, what he did to the women in the name of science and gynecology. All right, thanks, Erica. Really appreciate that. All right? I mean, y'all are on it tonight. I wanted to dive further in this particular book, but it talks about black talent snatching. And it goes into hip-hop and some of the other areas of entertainment on how, and it calls some names: Robin Thicke, Amy Winehouse, Madonna, Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, and a few other people. Elvis Presley, Britney Spears. And it calls a role on white people that are the culture vultures that have came into our culture and snatched our vibrational frequency and our vibrational pitch musically and culturally, and that became millionaires on black music. And this is very real because I lived it. All right? I lived it. So, black talent snatching on page 108. Hold on for a second. I talked about that. The GI Bill education, not for GI bros. It's the GI Bill for this, not for the GI bros. If you've ever been in the military and you get out of the military, they'll tell you you don't have benefits. Plain and simple. On page 76, it talks about the 2 million World War II veterans attending college under the GI Bill, but the eligible blacks were excluded from white universities, and a few small, underfunded, unequipped black schools were swamped with tens of thousands more applicants than they were ever able to handle and admit. 55% were turned away. They exercised the GI Bill, but you couldn't get into white universities. You had to go to the smaller black schools, which were ill-equipped to handle the amount of people that wanted to get an education after serving their country, after fighting in the war. All right? These are actual facts, man. None of this is how I feel or my opinion. Plain and simple. And I think we need to kind of take a deep breath and don't let the idea that you may have a white relative or white friends, or you might have some white people that have done a few little things for you and gave you some trinkets and let you benefit from the crumbs that fall from their table to cloud your thinking. We're dealing with actual facts, and we're not talking about a handful of us. We're talking about the vast majority of black people. All right? All right. Social Security and pensions for white workers only. All right? I said this last week. There's no whole lot of money sitting in the bank somewhere waiting for you to retire. They'll try to trick you out of your Social Security money. And if it's left up to Donald Trump in a minute, that's exactly what they're going to do. All right? Just for the people that's tuning in or about to tune the hell out, or have tuned out a long time ago, because you just don't like the raspiness of my voice. We're reading from this book, How White Folks Got So Rich. Google it right now so you can get a copy of it. All right? If you can't find it, I'm sure you can. But it's the untold story of American white supremacy and how white folks got so rich. Let me tell you something, man. I'm in and out of different places in America, and I drive by where some of them live. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I know you've said the same thing. And I'm looking at some of these houses. I'm saying to myself, storage is almost full. Okay. I'm looking at some of these houses and some of this land that they own. I'm like, where the hell white people getting all this money? I'm serious. I know you said the same thing. Like, where in the hell is white people getting all this damn money from? And I just say to myself, okay, something is happening in America that are locking black people outside just to get the information. And we need to give it up to this brother, or the brothers that put together this particular book, the Architect of White Supremacy book series. All right, so I guess they're coming out with more books like this. But it's a wealth of information in the book. We only scratch the surface. All right, we've only scratched the surface of the book. All right, so we need to understand Van Buren's father owned 6 slaves. The only slave personally owned his name is Tom, and he escaped in 1814. Well, shit, Tom, that could have been any damn body. Anyway, so let's understand this particular dynamic. We're talking about white people that are super rich and now wealthy, on top of black people working for 400 and some odd years for free. All right, free slave labor. I have 5 minutes left on this broadcast. I want to say the book is done. Please order the book. Just hit me up at 678-557-2919. My website is being developed, www.professorgriff.me, Master Equality, professorgriff.me, or just go to Facebook, go to Kavan Shah, or just put in Professor Griff on how to order symbology. It's the Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, Book 2. All right. I want to give a shout out to my daughter Naila. Thanks for helping me promote this. And those unknown people that don't want to be mentioned, thank y'all very much. And of course, my queen, my mate, Soleil, who actually supported me the last 4 months in helping me get this thing done. I love you to life, sis. I really appreciate you. And I am going to light this Palo Santo stick, because this energy that's going on in the conscious community, brothers and sisters, it has to stop. All right. There's not too many of us that are conscious. Some people are looking, that want to come into the conscious community and just become conscious. Not only the conscious community, looking at how we're acting and treating one another, and they're saying, no, thank you. I'd rather stay in the grave where I'm at. All right. And we need to take stock in what we have. You understand what I'm saying? And I notice a lot of times when I mention Minister Farrakhan's name or Elijah Muhammad's name, some people think this is going to be a pro-Nation of Islam or pro-Muslim or Islamic kind of conversation. This is why a lot of times I got to talk in my ATL voice and come goddamn hood shot for real, folk. And when I come like this right here, a lot of times that can resonate with some of y'all, and some of y'all get it. You understand what I'm saying? But if I just came as me, and I'm speaking from books, I can't help it if the brothers got together and they putting out the information that I'm reading from. This is where the facts are. All right. If you don't want to get the books I have that's in front of me, that I read from the facts out of these particular books, then present some books to me. I'm not ashamed. I read. All right. Like you should. All right. Shout out to Brother Rich. Tonight I'm doing the 2016 countdown. Ancestral countdown, and we're going to give honor, thanks, and praise to the Creator for giving us those brothers and sisters that were constantly on the front line for our benefit. All right. One last thing I want to read to you from what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us, and I'm reading to you from the Supreme Wisdom. All right. All right. It says, degree number 19. If a civilized person does not perform his duty, what must be done? Answer: if a civilized person does not perform his duty, which is teaching civilization to others, they should be punished with a severe punishment. Ezekiel chapter 3, 18th verse. St. Luke chapter 12, 47th verse. And the reason why Elijah Muhammad laid it out like that, simply because he knew your mind and your spirit, and you were there in them scriptures. So we had to go into the scriptures and come get you to give you some kind of understanding. But they robbed us of a knowledge of self, a name, language, culture, God, and religion, and brought us down to the level of animals. And this is how we treat one another. All right. This is why Marcus Mosiah Garvey said, "Up, you mighty nation." All right. We can accomplish what we will, but race first. All right. Put our people first. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Please support the cause. Go to YouTube, look on the right-hand side, click the support button, or just call me 678-557-2919 to support, or just hit me on Facebook, SMRnTv at gmail.com if you want to support. I love you all to life. I'm sorry I couldn't do the shout outs, but thank you very much every single week. All right. And I want to thank my relatives for coming on. It's 5 of y'all now. All right. So I'm bringing in as many as I can, because a lot of times when you get conscious, all right, the family members are the first ones that come at you, setting up roadblocks. But I'm thankful that they're here. All right. And I really appreciate that. I got to sign out. I love you all to life. Revolution is not an event. It's a process. All right.
And there he is. There he is. What's going on? What's going on, family? For those who just joined, my name is Chris Monroe, the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke. I bring the news and the information to you, and it's to help you make better decisions in your life. And yeah, I'll be up for a little bit here. That was good. That was Professor Griff. And who's calling? Golly, this phone always got to be ringing. If you're trying to broadcast, I felt like Dr. Umar right there. You know how he tried to do that little thing and the phone rang? Did y'all see that? The thing with Dr. Umar Johnson was on and the phone rang and he was like, oh. And he acted like nobody knew it was ringing when he started talking. He acted like he was answering the phone, but the phone rang. Did y'all see that? Because if you didn't, I'll play it for you. You saw it? Yeah, it was silly as a mofo. It's a mofo. Yep, but this is Professor Griff, the OG, dropping some knowledge on people. You're a white supremacist if you deny your privilege. Wow. Can't deny your privilege. Got to take it on in. As a matter of fact, let me see here. All the phones ringing now. Yeah, it's silly as a mug. I'm going to play it anyway. Let's see here. I got to do something tricky first. But if you haven't, please share this out to your Twitter. Share this out to your Facebook. And invite your followers. That'll be greatly appreciated. Let me see if I can do something here right quick. Right quick, shawty. Love life for more. What's going on, babe? Love, what you doing up this late? Y'all supposed to be asleep. Ain't nobody supposed to be woke. Y'all supposed to stay asleep. But the stuff he was saying there was some good stuff. He was telling the truth, you know. And I wanted to ask you all, why do you think we will never have peace in the Middle East? Just got home from work. Cool. Why do you think there will never be peace in the Middle East? There's a reason. Somebody threw something in a little while ago, said something about it's probably the oil. You know, they want to get that oil. They want to get that oil. They want to get something. White is not a color. It's an attitude. Going deep on. Economic interests. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Any others want to take a wild guess? Why will there never be peace in that Middle East? Man, if this phone don't quit making all this noise. That oil, yeah. Everybody want that oil. We're going to smoke them out like George Bush said. We're going to smoke them out. But I think it's really because they got to have a reason to be there, that military presence. They want to have a reason to have military bases all around the world. So there will never be peace in the Middle East. The oil, the banking, yeah, it's always about that money. It comes back to that money, European expansion. Look at that, the sanctuary coming in, dropping knowledge on them. Greed, that's possible. Israel want full control. Well, they can want all they want, but they can't get it. That little bitty country is that little bitty country. Military industrial complex, that's right. So these are the things they need to make sure that they keep that non-peace in that Middle East. They want to keep that going, and that's how to keep this money going. Because when things get bad, what does America do? If the economy really went really bad, what do you think will happen? Oh, we're magically in a war. All of a sudden, some evil dictator just woke up, crawled out from under a rock, and we're going full steam ahead. War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. You know that's what it's all about, that war. They want to make sure they keep you locked into it. Europeans have colonized almost the entire globe. You're right. Almost. I say the whole globe been colonized. I say they doing a very good job at what they do. This ain't they ain't no rookies. They've been doing this for a minute. I'm trying to pull this video up for y'all. This silly video, Dr. Umar Johnson. It's pretty silly. Gotta have something silly, or it ain't no fun, right? But yeah, that's this stuff is just it's sad, and they ain't playing. You know, if it all comes down to it, a war will occur, and a war can occur if needed. If it ever come down to the whole thing that, hey, something ain't right, this dollar, I think that's what's going to trigger World War III, when this dollar crashes, because you know the dollar going to crash, right? You say Sutin said he is a beast. He is, but, you know, them guys going at it bad. No word. Yep. No rookies at this game. They know what they doing. They stand woke in every way. Let me see if I can pull this video up for y'all. Y'all like silly stuff, right? Let me put up something silly. Let's see here. How do you get to that? There it is. All right, here's Dr. Umar Johnson. He's going to be talking tough about Sarah Sutin City, and the phone ring, and he got it going there, and he going to answer it. We're going to see how this look.
Feel me? Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this.
Don't forget to follow on all social media outlets at Chris Monroe STL.
Are they running around this intellectually masturbating old ass information? Like Papa Smurf. That Papa Smurf shit ain't gonna get us nowhere. You feel me? Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. So that Papa Smurf thing ain't gonna work. You feel me? Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this.
Don't forget to follow on all social media outlets at Chris Monroe STL. And that's your boy, Dr. Umar Johnson, and they're calling it an epic fail. Epic. He definitely not a doctor. He's a doctor. Come on, why you want to keep trying to take away his doctoring? He's a clinical psychologist. He's helping the little boys. Helping people. No, I don't know. He's doing a lot of stuff. Dr. Epic Fail. Somebody said this should be a meme. It probably is, because they going ham on Facebook, like straight ham on them. Going ham. It's bad. He is no doctor. Sure, he's a doctor. Why would you say he's not a doctor? What evidence would you say that makes him not be a doctor? Why would you think he's not a doctor? What piece of evidence do you have to offer to say, you know what? This fella here, he ain't no doctor. That's all I want to know. Prove it. I can find no proof. He has no evidence that he's a doctor. What's up, Miss Hair Doctor? Speaking of doctors, thanks for inviting your followers as well. Where did he get his PhD at? Well, he told you in clinical psychology from Pennsylvania somewhere, I think. I don't know. I don't follow up with it. But I'll tell you this. He's probably a doctor, but he's probably just, got a problem. right now. He's going through some things. It happens. It happens to the best of us. You over here crying, Miss Farrell? Yep. It is crazy. It's bad. It happens, though. You know, it really didn't surprise me. And that's the thing. We can't give these people this higher power like, oh, he's a god and he's infallible. He can never do no wrong. No, they're people. They're just people. Him, Polite, and all the other people that people look up to like, oh, they're just so perfect. If you're looking for perfection, you're looking to lose. You lost before you even started. You already lost before you started if you sitting up here thinking somebody gonna be perfect. No one walking this planet is perfect. Not you, not me, not anybody around here. But, you know, when you're on a live stream, you can't be faking. You can't be acting like, oh yeah, I'm on the phone with Obama right now. Obama, what up, bro? Yeah, you know, we down here, we chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm on Periscope right now. We streaming live. You know how we do it. Oh, yeah, tell Michelle I said, what's up? How the kids doing? Uh-oh, the phone rang. Oh, snap. Oh, caught like a mug. That's how it happens, though. It is what it is, though, family. That's messed up. Do what you do. Be who you be. And you know what else? I'ma see you before you see me. Bloop. See you on the IG.